Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my channel, Jonesy Chats Wrestling. I'm going to chat last night's Monday Night Raw, all the latest kind of stuff coming out of the show, what was good, what was not so good, and just the general real feeling of the show and stuff like that. Thank you for tuning into the video. Please, if you do like the video, please leave a comment below and please share the video. I'm hoping to get this channel to as many people as possible. Appreciate you all checking in on the video. So let's get to it. So Monday Night Raw, obviously we're coming off the Hell in a Cell on the previous sort of Sunday, if that makes sense. The night before, we had the show starting with Drew McIntyre. He obviously came out, typical Drew, generic promo, comes out basically saying he's going to get the belt back, which you kind of expect that. Drew's obviously had the belt and he's got this underdog sort of gimmick going on for a while, where he's obviously trying to get the belt back. Clearly interrupted by The Miz and Morrison. It's great to see them use the Miz in this spot. I think it's great to see him threatening with the briefcase. It makes sense to have the briefcase kind of in the limelight. Obviously, previously with Otis, it's not had any kind of time to do anything, so I'm happy to see it sort of in this spot. We then get kind of Drew and Morrison and Miz basically teasing stuff. It was okay. It was nothing particularly sort of fantastic. And for me, it didn't really kind of connect, really. I just think the fact you've got The Miz sort of going from nothing, he's basically been a jobber for ages on SmackDown. He's now on Raw, he's now got this briefcase, and yeah, you shouldn't instantly be going in there with Drew. I think I get the briefcase going to give him a title shot, but for me, I was a bit surprised at that. It didn't really kind of work for me. Obviously, ultimately, it ended up with Drew basically destroying both Miz and Morrison and then running away. But it was okay, nothing special really. We then got basically AJ Styles and Jordan Mugben, his new bodyguard, doing a promo. For me, this is another one of the things that really annoys me at the moment. We've had this Jordan McBean for sort of many weeks now, even at Raw Underground. This guy's still not had a name. So let's give this guy a character and a name, please, WWE. Let's give him a name so he can actually be known as something other than just a giant. Because this guy's got a great look. I think he's got real good potential. I don't know how good he'll be in the ring, if that makes sense, but it's very much Shawn Michaels and Diesel. That's the vibes I'm getting from this, and it's great to see AJ Styles having that. I think it's great. I just want this Jordan McBean to basically get a name now, so he's known, so WWE can refer him and slightly push him. I really kind of enjoyed this. I enjoyed the whole AJ Styles promo. We then got into the Survivor Series qualifying match, and it's AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy. Yeah, it was an okay match. Big shock. I think that it kind of did what it needed to do. Seen this match before quite a few times recently. It was safe and steady. We then had sort of AJ Styles obviously getting the win. It makes sense for AJ Styles to get the win. I kind of think that's the right move. AJ Styles obviously on the Team Raw Survivor Series match. After the match, Elias obviously attacked Elias. Yeah, it's basically looks like it's going to be another rematch again from the night before, following the horrific match at Hell in a Cell. Not really too excited by that, but it's just one of them things. I think the whole reason of Elias being there was just to basically promote his album. That's the only reason why. This feud's going nowhere. Does nothing for Jeff Hardy. Really hope that they're going to just sort of forget about this, hopefully. We then get a few other bits. We then go into sort of the Firefly Funhouse. Really love this. I thought this is an excellent segment. It's great to see basically Alexa Bliss there. She's got some slightly weird mannerisms now. Her eyes have almost got sort of contacts. Bray's contacts changed as well during the kind of segment. And I really like the way, what I really like about this is kind of the whole way that they've got her basically sort of with this new gimmick, and it's really great to see her do something different. It's great to see another wrestler in the Funhouse that's there regularly rather than just Bray again and again. For me, I really want to start seeing them basically paying off these puppets. They've done these puppets for ages. Ramblin' Rabbit continually gets destroyed every single kind of funhouse practically, but they've not really explained what the purpose of Ramblin' Rabbit is. For me, I just think it's a fun segment. It basically done what it needed to do. It got Bliss ready to basically announce a segment to Randy Orton later on in the night. This was okay, and I think it's fun. I just really want to see them sort of do something with Alexa base. Instead of her saying let him in, it should be let her in, and I think that's kind of the route I think that will go down. But it was a fun segment. It's one of the better ones. We then had this sort of awful kind of segment basically where we had like sort of Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax with Adam Pearce about the team captains. Yeah, it was just painful. I'm not going to speak too much about that. It was just boring. We then had a Survivor Series qualifying match, Keith Lee versus Elias. Yeah, finally, Keith Lee's won a match. Round of applause, really. I think WWE finally have given him a victory. Yeah, this was an okay match. Great to see Keith Lee get a win. This guy, unfortunately, has fallen so far down the card as well. Bear in mind, this is a guy that beat Randy Orton previously, ex-NXT World Champion, yet you got him struggling to beat Elias. He got the win here. So he's going to Survivor Series, makes sense. And I think it was okay. Jeff Hardy obviously interfered at the end, which was okay. But yeah, Keith Lee going to Survivor Series as part of Team Raw. We then go backstage to the Hurt Business. And it's just them basically bullying some sort of jobber, basically saying they can't use the bathroom. It's basically this tweener personalities, which doesn't really it's just weird. It doesn't really work. I'd like to see them bully somebody else, really, rather than a no-name person. In a comedy moment, a comedy mention, the person looked a bit like D'Lo Brown, so that made me laugh a bit, but yeah, it was just kind of nothing. We then kind of go to Charlie Caruso and Randy Orton. Charlie basically asks about Orton, whether he's worried about the Fiend, and he doesn't even sort of make any sort of fear or any sort of mention of it. We then go to one of the best matches of the year. No, I'm joking. It's an 8-man tag team elimination match. The Hurt Business vs Retribution. Oh my god, what an awful match. This was so bad. Let me start at the beginning then. So the way the commentators are hyping this up as if it's something we've never seen before, and it's been building for months, it hasn't. It's just basically had Retribution get destroyed every single week. As I said previously in my rant video about Retribution, this was an awful match. If we start with this then, so a couple of key things in the match. We had... basically, it looked like Mia Yim was having a seizure, which made no sense. It just looked totally, utterly stupid. Doesn't really work, and that interrupted with MVP basically getting eliminated when Slapjack finally got a pinfall. That's got to be a first. Well done there, Slapjack. So Slapjack eliminated MVP because Mia Yim was doing a sort of seizure on the floor with this new gimmick of Reckoning. Really cool sort of comedy. It was quite bad. And then obviously they went to the break. This is the worst thing of all. They went basically back from the break, and it's almost like sort of nothing's happened. It's just like they come back, they explain that she's faking. What's the point of the break? It's just so stupid. We then get basically Slapjack get eliminated by Lashley, unsurprisingly. So he's got a pinfall. Yet this guy was challenging for the United States title, got destroyed. Yet he's lost again to kind of Lashley. He's getting pinned by Lashley, which makes sense. T-Bar and Lashley brawl backstage, the double counter, and you're really thinking this. Well, this only leaves Cedric Alexander, Mace, Mustafa Ali, and Shelton Benjamin, and you really think this is a one chance for Retribution really to get a sort of win, if that makes sense, or get some sort of momentum now Lashley's out of the picture. But no, what happens is obviously Mace gets eliminated, and then obviously Cedric basically takes control, and Ali basically gets eliminated by disqualification, and then you've obviously got Ali running away. So once again, you've buried Retribution. There's no saving this group. This group are becoming a shambles. There was no numerous members again. They've all gone again. No special powers. No nothing. This group really needed a basically to get a win here. With Lashley out of the picture, this was the one chance for the group to get a win, to try and get some momentum. And I'm getting really sick of this Retribution whole Hurt Business feud. It's just like watching paint dry. It's the same thing every single week. I'm surprised they haven't added Apollo Crews and Ricochet into this fracas, to be fair, just to kind of just say how frustrating it is. But it's a total waste of TV time, and it makes them look like idiots, really. I think what they needed to do is they needed Retribution to have got a new member here, and they need to start making a point of Retribution if they're going to do something, but this group have kind of given up on it. It's just a shambles. I would have thought they would have introduced sort of a female member into the Hurt Business now to start feuding with Reckoning on the outside, because she's just like a spare part, no purpose, just stand there doing nothing, which is a right waste of medium. And I generally feel really sorry for this talent because they've got so much more ability than this. We then kind of go sort of backstage, and Angel Garza's there with most of them in his locker room, and he's obviously chatting up Nia Jax and everybody, and this is just a really boring segment that's kind of going nowhere. Angel Garza's like the modern day version of Val Venus, except for he's probably got no chance of the gimmick. The gimmick's horrendous. He's gone from Demi Burnett to Charlie Caruso to now Nia Jax. It's just like a who's who. It's almost like an episode of like Take Me Out, a Blind Date, really. It's doing nothing really for the whole sort of angle. This is vital TV time. They should be built using Survivor Series towards matches in Survivor Series. We then go to the Drew versus Miz match. Obviously Drew won, total waste of time. So I think this is a mistake booking this match on TV. You've given the Miz the title back basically, or not a title back, but you give him the Money in the Bank briefcase. Yet you're having him lose to Drew straight away. They should never have done this. This should have been maybe in a match later down the line. But yeah, Drew won. Drew had to win. Obviously, it was never going to lose to the Miz, but Miz should have been in a match against somebody easier, really. We then go to some other stuff, and we get the Raw Women's team that's announced. So the Raw Women's team is going to be Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. And then there's going to be a fatal 4-way match to decide who's in the match, who's the other member. You've got Lacey Evans, Lana, Peyton Royce, Nikki Cross. To be fair, on paper, this was going to be quite a good match. I think Lacey Evans is a good worker. Peyton Royce she's really, really good. I think she's underrated. Nikki Cross is really, really good as well. Had a lot of opportunities against Bayley and stuff, but never quite done it. And you got Lana. What the WWE do again, they pull off a shock. Lana was the one that actually won the match. And in essence, she only won the match so she could go through the table for the 6th time. I know people love the table spot, but for me it just doesn't work. It's getting a bit boring now. It doesn't really serve a purpose. It's not further doing stuff. I think the thing with it is, you've seen it once. What's it actually doing? It's not doing anything. It may be getting Lana over as a babyface. I can accept that, but it's just a waste of time. But Lana's in the Team Raw now, so Team Raw is sort of set. The women's team in Raw is set, and I'm not that impressed really. Let's look at who's actually in it and who's going to be a star. I think Shayna Baszler's probably the best worker out of the team. I think Dana Brooke, she's okay, steady worker. Mandy Rose, steady, nothing outstanding. And now you've got Lana. It's a very, very limited women's team in my opinion. We then go backstage with Retribution, and they're once again coming out with some sort of promo. Ali trying to save them after all their undoing earlier. It's just a shame to see Ali like this. What they really needed to do was Ali to basically tease that something's going to change. And he needs to start using these powers, so he's able to hack stuff and do stuff when he was on SmackDown allegedly. They need to now start doing stuff. They need to start getting back in the building, letting more people in. And if they want to do this numbers game again, or they want to restart that, they need to start doing it and actually naming people. So they need to start getting people joining them. I think they need a new member. I don't know if you remember this, if you're old enough to remember this video, or just sort of when this happened. Do you remember the Nation of Domination? They were really, really struggling as a stable. It was only really when they added people such as like The Rock, who was Rocky Maivia back then, that they really kind of got up that gear, because they added that vital cog. Ali was a good start to Retribution by adding him. They need another member to be added, and as I said on my previous video for Hell in a Cell, it needed to be Braun Strowman in my opinion. I think that's who they need to add. You can't fix it all with this stupid gimmick, but they need to start being dominant, and they need to start attacking people other than Hurt Business. We then had a fantastic Survivor Series qualifying match between Matt Riddle and Sheamus. What a match. This was absolutely fantastic. I thought Matt Riddle, he's so good. He should be winning matches, but he's so underbooked here, and I think it's just such a shame that he's not really getting the push he deserves. But this was a really, really good match. And unfortunately, Sheamus got the win, but it makes sense. Sheamus, obviously, he's been on a fairly good run as well. He's pretty unstoppable, but really good match. Match of the night for me, this was. We then have the moment of bliss with Randy Orton. This was okay. It done what it needed to do. I thought Alexa Bliss was outstanding. It was a fun dynamic. And as I said, it just got really, really silly. So you've got obviously Drew coming out again, and then you've also got sort of the Fiend coming out. Fiend comes out and doesn't do anything. He just stands there. Drew and Randy also brawl. And for me, it just serves no purpose. Obviously, at Survivor Series, we're going to a Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton match. So what are they doing, building this in the interim? If they're not going to get to this triple threat match until December, this was a total waste of time. What they should have done, really, is have somebody like a Roman Reigns or somebody from SmackDown come out and attack Randy Orton. Randy Orton's the champion. So for me, I think this heel versus heel dynamic at Survivor Series, it's going to be an okay match, but I'm not invested. I think they would have been much better keeping the belt on Drew McIntyre and have Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre at Survivor Series instead of Roman Reigns and Randy Orton. Obviously, this may not happen, and we may still have a title change somewhere on the line, but not impressed. There was nothing on this show really that started this whole sort of warfare of brands. I'm wondering, obviously, if the COVID's kind of stopping that, people can't come in the building and stuff like that, but really, really kind of shambolic, really, I think, in parts. I think this show was such a missed opportunity. The booking is all over the show, loads and loads of stuff that I didn't really enjoy, and I think it's such a shame. They've got so much potential with this roster. This roster's talented, yet there's nothing of NXT. NXT are not coming up or not involved in Survivor Series. It's almost like the naughty little child in the corner. They can't do anything. They've just been forgotten about. Nobody from NXT went up to Raw or SmackDown in the trade. Nobody from Raw or SmackDown went down to NXT. NXT aren't even on Survivor Series. Remember how good Keith Lee was in last year's Survivor Series because of NXT? Nothing like that. And the potential dream matches of Sasha Banks, Io Shirai, and Asuka's gone now. They're not even going to do anything like that. So total waste of time. And all this was a filler again. A filler sort of television show. They did nothing really to promote sort of this whole GAM warfare or brand warfare. But we have got matches for Survivor Series. So the matches we've got for Survivor Series are as follows. We've got Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Universal Champion versus WWE Champion. Early predictions on that, Roman Reigns, definitely. I don't see Roman Reigns losing. He's the most over person in WWE at the moment. Randy Orton's a filler champion. They want to, if they're going to hold on to Randy Orton with the belt, the big dream match is Randy Orton Edge, it seems. But Roman Reigns is winning here. Sami Zayn, Intercontinental Champion versus Bobby Lashley. We know who's winning that one already. That's going to be Bobby Lashley. I think he's pretty unstoppable. He's another one that doesn't lose matches, and I think he'll destroy Sami Zayn. We've got Asuka versus Sasha Banks. This is going to be a fantastic match. We've seen it already, kind of recently. Obviously, they've done this match before, and it was okay. I think with both titles, it'll be fun. Hard to say who's going to win. I can't call this one at the moment. I think it's going to be really hard. We've got the New Day versus Street Profits. Two baby faces against each other. This will be okay in ring. Not really too excited about it. I don't really know who's going to win this one either. I can't really call it at the moment. We've then got the Raw men's team: AJ Styles, heel; Jeff Hardy, babyface; Keith Lee, face; and two more competitors. So I guess we're going to get a heel and a face. I'm wondering if we're going to get sort of Elias on Team Raw, just to be able to sort of, or some other wrestlers, just to sort of shake the pot. We don't know who the SmackDown team is. We've then got Team Raw now, which is the women's one. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose and Lana versus whoever. On paper, this Survivor Series card has got potential to be a good card, but there's no matches there that really I have to see. But I think, wow, this is going to be great. This is going to do anything. And I'm really hoping after this week's SmackDown, when it happens, we're going to get to some serious building of sort of the brands against each other. Because at the moment, it's just one-sided, really, which I think the problem is when you're ending the show with The Fiend, Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, and The Fiend's doing nothing, he's just standing there. It just doesn't serve any purpose to me. I know you want to get to this triple threat down the line, but why building it now? You should be building up these matches that are going to happen in the next pay-per-view, which is Survivor Series. But that's been my thoughts. This is Jonesy Chats Wrestling. Thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed the rant, if you've enjoyed my opinion, or if you disagree, please leave a comment, please leave a thumbs up, and please share the video. I'll be doing some more videos soon, and I thank you all for watching. Thank you for watching Jonesy Chats Wrestling.